Wow. You know, I was just in the middle of doing a video and I ended up deleting the whole thing. Just when I saw that they had the Minnesota police officer who shot and killed Philando Castile, uh, or Castile, and killed him in the car. A guy who was compliant, a guy who was a model citizen, who was a licensed gun holder back in 2016, last year, July. He was acquitted on all the charges. Now, they charged him with second-degree manslaughter, and he would have faced 20 years in prison. And what this decision tells people is that if you're black, your life is in danger, and it doesn't mean anything. That's the negative symbolism that this does. It's going to lead for people to be upset and protest in the street and be more violent, so people can look out their window and say, wow, look at them. Because this man was compliant. This man was not violent. He wasn't threatening in any way. And he was stopped for a very minor offense and was murdered. He offered no resistance at all. He did not yell and cuss at the police officers. And how many times do we see that? And then somebody be like, well, he was yelling, and what was he yelling and cursing for? This guy was compliant. And he lost his life when he had basically was in the right, had no business losing his life that night. So they're saying everything was done legally. That this police officer did the right thing. So what I say to the Minnesota Police Department is put this in an instructional video and saying this is how you make a stop. Because what you're saying is no crime was committed. If he's acquitted on all the charges, show that tape to your instructional class and saying this is how you handle this situation. He did not do anything wrong. He was acquitted on all charges. So that means you condone this behavior from your police officers. See, this is where community, this is why I said you have to police yourself. You got to realize that this is no accident. How all these police forces seem to have the same type of police officers. Do you get it? It's universal. Why would these guys who harbor so much hate work for the same unit and happen to be working for the same police department? How did they get the job? Or is it a requirement for the job? He told the officer there was a firearm in the car. He acted normally and courteously. He asked the man for identification. The man went to get identification and he was shot. Now, the police will say in a police training video, you are cleared to use deadly force if you perceive a threat. So when the cop says, I thought he had a gun on him, that was enough excuse for them to say, see, he thought he had a gun. So it was okay for him to use deadly force. You're wearing a vest. He's not. You have a gun pointed on him. What you're stopping him for is very minute. He's not even the driver. It's sad. It's really sad because you ask for compliance, you get compliance, and you still get shot. And they still walk. I'm out of words, man. I don't even feel like talking about this no more. I'm done.